Which one y'all think I should choose?
I like this one right here.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me step back. Oh, that is gorgeous.
It's even all the way around.
Yeah.
What you think, Jim? You think that one?
I do.
Okay.
I like this one, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And maybe that last one in the row there.
Okay.
Yeah, that one looks really good.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
You like that one, John?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we'll go with these two. Let's see them side by side.
Yeah, take a look at him here. I'll get to slide this one out, Jeff.
These are gorgeous. What do y'all think, y'all? What do y'all think?
Yeah,
Woo!
they look good.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Yes. You don't like this one better right here?
Which one? This one here?
Yeah. Or you like these
Nah,
two as a
match.
pair?
Yeah, these two match.
What y'all think? Drop down in the comment box and let me know. What y'all think? Yeah, you right. That does have, John, you are so right.
Real good, full bottom.
It got some body.
Yes.
Yes, I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think these, yeah.
Perfect. Yep.
Amazing.
All right.
Perfect.
We'll get you loaded up.
All right. Amazing.
Yeah, that'll lay it down.
Yeah, maybe crisscross them.
Look at that. Who does that? Guys, look at these beautiful specimens right here. So these are going on the back patio, but they look gorgeous. I mean, look at the shape. They're real tight. The tips even look good. Beautiful. We got these beauties back home and look at them. Just absolutely beautiful and amazing. Just gorgeous. And what I like about them is the spirals are from a single stem. Look at that trunk. A single trunk. Can you see it? Now you can, if you look inside of this one, you can see where it branches off, but that main stem is just gorgeous. And I said if I got a spiral, I would prefer it be an Alberta spruce. And here we have a beautiful pair. Let's look at the tag. So these are Monrovia. All right, so Monrovia, let's look. Okay, so these are zones 2 to 8. So we're good right there. So if you are putting a evergreen specimen or any specimen in a container for that matter, you want to make sure you have at least 2 zones. The lower the zone, the more of an advantage you'll have when it comes to overwintering this beauty. These are dwarf Alberta spruce. And the light requirements, partial to full sun, water when the top 2 inches of soil is dry, blooms conifer, prized for foliage, USDA zone 2 to 8, hardiness down to -50 to -40. The average size grows 8 feet to 5 feet wide in a natural form, pruned to maintain a topiary form. These are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I am obsessed. Just gorgeous. Underneath this box, I have been patiently waiting. Cover, uncover, uncover, cover. Because up underneath this box, there are some poinsettias that I've been trying to put in the color so I can do my first poinsettia arrangement of the year. And this is about the best that I can get them right here. What I do is every day I put my poinsettias under cover for about 5 o'clock. And because I really wanted the color to come through, I've really been stretching it to about 10 o'clock. Then I uncover it and let them get the light of the day. Because if you look inside and you get up close, you can see the green color coming through. Now, although oftentimes when we go to the store to buy poinsettias, we see the beautiful reds, we see the beautiful magentas, the whites, the corals even, the burnt ambers. You see those beautiful tones of poinsettia, but they all start off green and then they're forced into this beautiful color here. Get in close, let me show you. Okay, so here's a good example. Can you see this leaf right here? You can see how it's green, but everything else around it has this beautiful gold color. Now, what we are doing is we're forcing the color to come out of this leaf here. Therefore, we'll have that beautiful holiday color that we all love. We're going to pot up a beautiful poinsettia arrangement, and I'm very excited for you all to see. Now, normally when you get your poinsettia, they're going to come in this foil here. The first thing I like to do is I like to take it off. In this scenario, it was easier for me to water the poinsettias with the foil up underneath. So this is what keeps your plant watered at the store. So the first thing you do, you pull that off. And then these poinsettias right here, they have been inside of just a nursery pot here, a black plastic nursery pot. Again, it was easier for me to just keep them in the foil because that way I would be able to introduce a lot of humidity, because believe it or not, your poinsettias do not like a dry environment. We're going to plant up a beautiful arrangement and then we'll talk about it. And even right here, you can see where I still have some still trying to change into color. But it's not going to stop what I need to do, because I do need to go ahead and get these beauties potted up. I mean, isn't this gorgeous? Is it screaming gold to the people? I think it is for the holidays. Let's find a saucer. Set those right there. So I'm thinking this size would be perfect right here for this container. It's a little bit on the big side. Let's keep looking. But for demonstration purposes, it will work, and I'll go get the container that actually fits with this size right here. And let me see. Because it should be more like this color right here. Can you see that it's off a little bit? But it'll work for me to demonstrate what I need to show you, how I'm going to have this sitting on the table that I'm going to have it at. Found them. I went and found the saucer that belongs with these containers. I'm like, okay, now I know I had the saucer. So here's the saucer. Here we go. And so we did 2 of the same thing. Let's hope this one is the right one. And it is. Okay, so this is how this is going to be setting. So we have a big, and then we have a small one here. The room that they're going to be sitting in, I didn't want to just have like 2 just odd ones, so we're going to have 1 and 2, and they're going to flank the end of a table. So here's the first set. Or if you want to go in and add a third one or separate, I feel like that almost looks better when you have a contrasting color. But for this room, I wanted it to be more muted because it is going in a room with more muted tones. All right, and same thing with this one right here.
Whoa, oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh. Da, 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 da. Making our Christmas memory.
Let's get into the details of those 2 Alberta spruce. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. But let's get into the juicy details, because if you've been following me for some time, you know I have been looking for 2 evergreens to replace the 2 that we had to move off the patio that had taken up residency there since 2020, and now they have to go somewhere else. They're still in the garden, so we moved them to another area. So we had been on a journey, and we had been looking and looking and looking for some beautiful evergreens. I wanted to go in with some tall juniper poodles, but I absolutely could not find any. Kept seeing Alberta spruce, Alberta spruce, Alberta spruce. So I was looking for something Monrovia brand, of course, and I was just not having any luck finding a pair of 2, something with a big enough stature to fit in those big pots, which I could go in and do something different, but sometimes you want to go back in and do the same thing. Dave Sherwood reached out and said that Monrovia had 2 Alberta spruces for me. Whenever Monrovia sends out any type of specimens for me, they're always sent to Sherwood's Forest, and oftentimes he already has pretty much what I'm looking for in stock. carries a lot of Monrovia. So it's like perfect. So excited. Thank you, Monrovia. Thank you, Sherwood's Forest. This area right here, we're going to come in and completely revamp for the holidays. So each area will have its own theme. I always like to do that in my garden areas, or shall I say my garden rooms. We are going to be pulling my transitional color. In my garden, I like to do a lot of transitional looks to lead you from one look. So previous was the fall, now we're headed into the winter time. So I put out some cyclamen here. Cyclamen can stand some pretty frigid temperatures, have tons of blooms loaded here. So we're going to pop these out. We're not going to be throwing our cyclamen away because I like to keep my cyclamen from year to year, and I use them, and the blooms only get better and better from year to year. Let's get the cyclamen out of here and then we'll move on into our next look. This area just looks so bare, and I like it because it just opens this doorway up. But y'all know I can't go out like that, right? So we're going to go ahead and get our situation in place for the holidays. What do you guys think? Y'all like it better this way, or let me switch it real quick? Or do y'all like it like this? But what do y'all think about this? Drop down in the comment box. Let me know. I really need to hear your input. Let me know, do you like this look right here? Don't you think it's really bringing in that holiday vibe? Let me know. We're not done. We're just now getting started. We are going to transform this entryway, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad that you all are on this journey with me. I feel like this makes a very good companion for what we're going to pop in here. So let's get soil inside and let's plant this baby up. We're finally going to be tackling this area here in the front entryway for the holiday. We're going to drop off this amaryllis bulb. I have a dear friend, she's doing an arrangement, and she called and asked what type of amaryllis I had in bloom. So my response to her was, what color do you need? I have one more of these hostess gifts left over. This is going to be the one that I'm going to be giving her, and so she can use this. Then I'm going to take you guys along with me, because what we're going to do is we're going to gather the supplies that we're going to be needing for this area here. We're going to shop for some containers that we're going to be putting up here in this front entryway. Now, I totally could go with the Monrovia containers that are here, and they would very effortlessly blend into what I'm doing. Even though you see the Monrovia name brand in the front, it would not matter because I could easily disguise that. But we're going to just deck this area out for the holidays. Come on, let's go gather the supplies. Want to look for some ribbon. We want ribbon that's kind of showy, so like this will work, and it's 2 rows right here, so we'll go ahead and get these 2 rows. Let's see what else we have. Okay, this is showy. I like this because we'll be able to see through it. Now, sometimes you got to get up underneath and see what they have. Okay, so I like this one. This one is nice. This gold is nice, but I feel like it won't translate as well. Although we do need some red. So this is nice. And let's pull it back to see it's thick. Okay. So that looks pretty good. So let's try to find another one of these right here. Okay, here's another one. Okay, so I want to see if they have any type of black in a round. I'm not seeing any black in a round, but I do see where they have black. They also have gold. Those are mixing in with the colors that we're going to be using. So let's check down a little bit more.
They're going to be in safety.
So there is no green. So that was one of the colors that we could have used. And let's keep looking. See, this is what I'm looking for. You see how they have this round tablecloth right here? There are no round that's in like a dark green. This is giving me more like spring vibes, although I have done a beautiful Christmas tree using this color green, but it's just not the color green that we need right now. But I really need a red. So
we're all out of glue dots.
So it seems as though the way they have everything set up, so like for example here, you see the pink, they have the pink tablecloth, the silverware, and then they have the rectangle tablecloth, and I am not seeing that set up for the red, for the black, or the gold. But here are some white. We could use the white, but we don't really want to use the white, so let's keep looking. I was thinking about going with this black, and here's the reason why. This black container, I think that would look really nice. It's just a plastic container, and it'd be perfect for right here. The only thing is, I don't necessarily want to go through the fuss of popping this out of the container and putting it inside of this container right here. If I went with the black container, it definitely will blend in with everything that's going on. Because I want more of the spiral evergreens to make more of the show, I don't necessarily want to go over the top with the container here. Here is option 2. Option 2 would give more of like a country feel, but it definitely will fit in because it has the silver color, it's pop, it's metallic. It definitely would go. I like the fact that it's aged. The only thing is I would have to find my other container like this, my other tub, and of course we would clean this all up. And then that way we would just go ahead and just set this tree inside of this container, and then it would be like one and done. I do like the fact that the height of this container right here is the same as the Monrovia container, so it'll be perfect. So I won't have to worry about any of the bottom of my evergreen here. I won't have to worry about that messing up the bottom of my spiral here. If I use the container on this side, I can set the tree and the container inside of this container right here. Let me think on this a little bit and decide which way I'm going to go with these 2 evergreens right here. So I'm out here giving the Gulthera just a little bit of pinpoint watering. We're going to be working on the window box. We're also going to be planting up some gorgeous amaryllis, and when you see how they look, you are going to be just in awe of their beauty. I want to head over to the window box and finish that. So we're going to be adding some beautiful winter berries, Gulthera. And if you've never used Gulthera in your winter plantings, if you've never used Gulthera in your indoor plantings, you are missing out. So let's get these babies in place. Take the watering can with us. I'm extra, so I'm going to be tweaking this box to fit my specifications. You are using living plants to get you through from one season to the next when you have fluctuating temperatures. The most important thing is going to be the root ball. You're going to want to make sure that you keep the root ball nice and warm. So it's a few different ways you can do that. You can use lighting. Yes. Did you hear what I said? Let me say it again. You can use lighting. You can use the lights, and they will give just enough heat in order to heat up your soil here and keep the temperature just where they need it to be. Now, if the forecast is calling for temperatures that are down in the negatives, baby, you might as well kiss it goodbye. We're going to start by pulling out our Spanish moss. So I'm just going in by the tons, and I'm just pulling it out. Let me get some gloves on here. So we're going to come in, pull it out where I have it placed at, but don't toss it. Now, what I like to do is I will clean this and I will reuse it. I will let it dry out so it doesn't harbor mold or any type of fungus, and I'll reuse it. In there to see how this could potentially look. So you see how when we put that in there, you see how it just elevates that look a little bit. Let's get in close and look at this. Actually, let's finish placing, then we'll get in and we'll look at it. So here's another one. And then maybe let's tuck one here on the side, okay? Get these all popped in, and then we'll talk about all of the components in here. Well, this one right here on the end just needs to come closer. So we'll just pop this out. Real simple fix. We'll go down in the soil and just move it over. closer. I want to come in, clip, and open this up as well. And then you just place it back here. You see how that just really brings everything in. And actually, we'll take this out.
Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making a Christmas memory.
So now we're going to fill in this gap right here. Do you see how this evergreen piece right here, when you hold it this way, it sticks up that way. When you hold it this way, it creates that drape. So in order to fill this side out over here, what we're going to do is I'm going to give this a cut. Now with your wintergreens, remember everything gets a fresh cut, okay? And we'll just stick it, but stick it back. You see how that filled that spot out just nicely? Just like this. Unless you're doing like a big, huge container, take your pieces and just cut them to give you the look and the effect that you need. So we're just going to come in and just drape this out, tuck. We come in and we water. When you're putting your winter greens out, make sure it's not coming across even like a blunt cut. Come in and play with the height a little bit. Come in and play with the texture a little bit. It's a lot of texture going on here. Look at that. How beautiful and gorgeous is that? Let me get the spray nozzle just right. Okay. So I'm coming in and just spritzing my wintergreens only. I totally love the look and the contrast of this box. It is screaming holidays, okay? Our Monrovia boxwoods. Then you drop down to the next section and you have your silver fir. Then you have an alternating pattern of the cyclamen, and then you have the Gauthera. Complement the rest of what's going on. It's going to definitely be an ambiance. It's definitely going to be a vibe. I have some beautiful amaryllis bulbs that are absolutely gorgeous. I have a few of them that's in bloom. Every last one of these are open, and they are even more prettier than I remember them last year. This is only one flower. This section right here on the flower, it's starting to open, but it's not fully open. And there's a bud up underneath here that's not fully open. Because they are so huge, it would be absolutely beautiful and amazing to just put them in one arrangement. But I don't think I want to go that route. I really feel like I want them to stand out individually. And I want it to be to where when they're planted up, you can see these beauties from every single angle. You guys, look at this. Look at how just big this is. Just the three of these together. It's like one just gorgeous bouquet. The containers. What containers are we using? If you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I have a thing for containers. And I think you guys are going to like the containers that we're going to be planting these up in. They're simple but very elegant. So let's move these aside so we can get some containers on the table. The size of bulb does matter when it comes to your show, the performance that you're going to get out of your amaryllis bulb. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop these babies into these beautiful urns, and I can't wait for you to see the final look on these. So let's get started. Only thing I need to do is I want to come in with some moss. Now I like to use the super moss here. This is what the bag looks like, and it's just preserved sheet moss, and the brand is Super Moss. Absolutely love to use them. Sometimes I'll put the moss on my containers when the moss is dry. I just kind of feel like when you have it wet, sometimes it just shapes better. But it's nothing wrong with you putting it on there in a dry form, because I do both. I do both. And when I put my moss in, I kind of like for both sides to kind of shine through a little bit. So let's do this one. Sometimes I'll even roll it a bit. If you want to keep your amaryllis blooming longer, you want to maintain that bloom, you want to make sure that you hydrate your amaryllis. So you're just going to go in, you're going to add a little bit of water around here. And that way your bloom is going to last longer. It's going to help everything thrive. And on this one right here, we're not fully budded out all the way. Can you guys see that? This is a whole different bloom stock right here. So all of this right here is on just one stock. And with your colossal bulbs, you might get 3, 4, maybe 5 stems out of your colossal amaryllis. What you want to do is you want to make sure you continue to make sure you nourish the bulb, and that way you can get the best performance out of it. Run to the store because I am on the hunt for a pair of those metal tubs. I thought about it overnight. I really don't want to go through all of the work of taking the evergreens out of the containers and making them fit inside of the black pots. Plus, I feel like if we go in with the silver pots, it's going to give us something different. So let's head off to the store. Let's grab the containers, or find the containers rather, that we need. I feel like this size right here is a better fit, although we do have a smaller set of containers, which I did that on purpose because I felt like this one right here was a little bit too large for the area, but I think this will work out great. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get these containers in their places. have ribbon from the Dollar Tree, but then I also have ribbon from my own stash. Now, when I'm out and about and I see like this wired ribbon right here, now this is black velvet or a velvet ash ribbon, I go ahead and I just pick them up because you never know when you're going to be needing it. And if you love to decorate as I do, it's always good to have some things on hand. Now, this is the ribbon that I acquired from the Dollar Tree. Initially, when I picked out this ribbon, I was thinking that I was going to go more towards the green way. But as I began to think about what I wanted to do in the colorway for the front entry, I decided to maybe not go as much with this. I'm not sure. But what we're going to do, we're just going to make some ribbons, some bows to go on those trees. So now I have some black wire ribbon, may or may not use, and then I also have the red. I also have the zip ties. Now normally with my ribbon, I don't necessarily like to use a whole bunch of wire because you technically can twist your ribbon in order to make it stay in place. But since it's going to be outside, I don't want to come outside and find that the wind has topsy-turvy ribbon apart. So I'm just going to go ahead and use some zip ties. So I do a lot of crafting, so I like to go in and just buy a big bag. This is 1,000 count. I like to pick those up from Lowe's, and I have them in all different colors. But we're going to be using this black because it's going to be easy to disappear. So I know for sure I definitely want to use this ribbon right here. So we're going to go ahead and get it open. I'm going to work with the ribbon a bit. You guys, I love this. I love how you have the metallic against that beautiful burgundy color, and it's definitely going to fit in with the colorway out there in that area. So I just like to start with just making a tail here, and once I make my tail, then I go in and I like to just make my first loop here, and then I twist. Now, if you're going to be using a second ribbon, now hold on one second. If you're going to be using a second ribbon, then you want to start out with both of them at the same time. So let's match this up against each other. So can you see that? It's a nice contrast between the two here. So, or if I came in and I use this ribbon right here, which I do want to take this off. Oh, okay. See, now this is nice, but it's very, very thin. So this right here, it will work in a different application, but this is not going to be the application for it, okay? So we are going to use maybe just a little bit of this black velvet. I think it'll be nice. It's heavy. So what we'll do is we'll take this, and it'll be the perfect contrast on both sides. Okay, so we're just going to come in and we're going to make our first loop here. And I'm just going to begin to work with this ribbon here. Now I will say I'm definitely not loving the give of the black. Okay, you guys, this is absolutely just gorgeous. Look at that. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to squeeze this. I'm going to bunch everything together. And I'm going to come in. I'm going to make another loop here. Only thing when you use the ribbon from the Dollar Tree, you not going to get as much as you going to get when you spend a little bit of coin. $1.25, $10. And even though that's not expensive, honey, because I have spent some money on some ribbon, and I know a lot of people who used to buy expensive ribbon and still do, honey, because Nana's trees used to be on and popping. Do you hear me? Down to the T, color coordinated, okay? So we're going to use that, and we're going to play off of the fact that we know in advance that we're going to be running out of ribbon. So you see how I've come in, you guys. Now, isn't that sharp? Is that not sharp? Now, we could come in. I love a good ribbon like that, the classic, but we want to do it a little bit different. All right, so now I got it to where I can play with it a bit, and I am going to come in and I am going to tie all of this together. Baby Sean, I need somebody to come and pull this through. All right, so we got our tie on there, just like that. And from here, you can come in and you can crisscross and add another tie. But this is our result, because we don't want a traditional bow here, but we want to be able to pay respect and homage to both colors. Now, you can come in and individually go in and just make the ribbons, but I kind of just want it to just flow. And so we'll get it on the tree and we'll play with it a little bit more. All right, now we are going to cut this. So I don't necessarily always like to have them at the same length. So I like to play with the length a little bit. It doesn't always have to be symmetrical, although I love a good symmetrical look. Fold it in half, then we'll make our cut. So I am going to do pigtails with all of these. Now, if you have ones where it's not really even here, you come in, you make a cut, even it out a little bit more. You come in, you fold, and then just cut your pigtails. Perfect. Same thing here. Now you can take a lighter and singe the edges a little bit, but since I am one that reuses my ribbon, yes, it's no shame in my game. I will reuse my ribbon. And sometimes you have the same theme going on, and sometimes you want to come in and do a little bit different. But this is about how it's going to look, and I think it's really going to bring everything in. Now, I could have came in and did a little bit more white in the ribbon, but that's not what we're going to be doing today, okay? So now we just need one more ribbon. Same thing. We're just going to come in and we're just going to match this up. And then we're going to finish our look outside because it's really starting to come together, but it's not together all the way. So we definitely need to go in and embellish the area a little bit, you know, just get it fully clean and together. Now, if you want to, when you make this first loop here, in order to keep everything together and tight, you can come in and do twist tie here. You can come in and hold that so that way you're free to just go ahead and just make your ribbon the way you want it to be. Because otherwise, if you let go, your ribbon lets go too, okay? So you got to keep it tight.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin.
It would be so beautiful to put our ribbon right there. But I really want to accent the artistry and the shape of these evergreen topiaries and just accent the craftsmanship of the way that these topiaries were just trimmed into shape. They're very perfect. I don't think the camera really does it justice. So what we're going to do, because remember, one thing I love to do is I love to think outside of the box. You would just so expect me to come in and put this there. Baby, we're not doing that. We're going to come and we're going to add our beautiful ribbon right here. Now, isn't that gorgeous? Now, the same thing on this side right here. We're just going to come in. Right here where you see the stem, we're going to come in on this side right here and we are going to pull out our zip tie. Can you see that on the back end? Let me get in here. And if you're sensitive to the sap of evergreens, just go ahead and throw on some gloves. And we're going to come around this way right here and we pull that through and perfect. And we affix our bow. I'm not going to put it too tight. You just kind of just work it. Tag off of here. I like to kind of just have everything just flowing down to where you can see my different length. And I do like for a long ribbon. It's going to accent and draw your eye down to everything that's going on right here. Isn't that gorgeous, you all? Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Even though I know that these ornaments are going to be outside, so they're going to be subjected to the wind, they're going to be subjected to the elements here. I want to make sure that I'm able to present everything in pristine shape. So I do want to go in and just wipe down some of the ornaments here. All right, so as you can see, just wiping it down, it just helps it glow a little bit more. Now, I do know that it is going to get dusty, but just, you know, taking the time out to just wipe down your pieces a little bit, sometimes just give a better look than versus having that dust that was hanging over it. I could go in and add a wreath and take things over the top. I'm just not interested in doing that. I just really want the focus to be on these beautiful Monrovia topiaries. Detail that you're going to get out of a Alberta spruce spiral is second to none, and especially when it's Monrovia. We're going to head upstairs to the plant room. We'll grab the plants that we're going to be using for this arrangement. We're going to grab one of these trays so it's going to be easier for us to collect our plants. Some of these don't look too hot, but we are going to select this one right here. Definitely this one because I love a good rosette. Here's a good one. And this one is dead, so we are going to toss this. I like this green. Let's grab this. Here's our succulents that we're going to be using. Let's go pick out a container. This is the container that I want to use right here. It's going to give us the flow that we're looking for. It's going to make the vibe just right of this container. So let's move our containers out the way. Let's get this one. Put this one back. And of course we have a leaf here. Set that right there. I think this container will be perfect, and it's going to elevate the look and really push this arrangement over the top. And we're also going to be using some amaryllis bulbs for this arrangement, and it's going to make everything turn out perfect. For this arrangement, I'm going to be using a succulent soil. So whatever type of soil you use, because we're going to be using the succulents, you want to make sure it's fast draining. So just save yourself a little bit of heartache, a little bit of pain, and make it, less worrying on our end. I just go ahead and I use like a premium cactus mix. And the amaryllis bulbs definitely want mine. We need to make a quick run to Michael's to gather some supplies, some floral stems and things of that nature. While we're there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up some wooden picks that I like to use in my indoor floral arrangements, and I also use them outdoors as well. This is a 16 gauge stem wire. We're going to be using these in this arrangement. I have 3 amaryllis bulbs. I may or may not use all of them. We want this container to be very visual. We want it to raise question, excitement, all of the above. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to remove the skin from our amaryllis bulb. Works better when I take off my gloves. Okay, now that looks so much more appealing to the eye. So now let's go ahead and start working these in. For the most part, our arrangement is done. Now we need to go in and we're going to wire in a few pieces. So I have this 16 gauge floral stem wire. You can go smaller. I like the 16 gauge because if you look at this, it's pretty sturdy and I can manipulate this to whatever shape I want it to be. For example, to finish this out, we have a small space right here on the container. Gives us an opportunity to come in and add more plants right here. See that space? But I'm going to show you how we're going to get a cascading effect. So it would be really nice if we could add a little bit of drape to that area. It's going to add a little bit of architectural detail to the plant. We wire this in and now it gives us the opportunity to where we can either clean the roots, right? Or we can bend the roots back. You can go in, you can tape this and it'll be absolutely fine. See what I'm doing here? Now it gives us an opportunity to go down, all by using this floral stem. So we're just going to take the floral stem wire and we're just going to start to bend it back so we can secure the succulent. Kind of just make a hook around the root. Now this is where using smaller wire, it makes it easier. Floral wire off. Just guide this through. Sometimes you might knock some of your plants out. Then we also got to keep in mind we have a bulb here. So this one we're going to wire through the same exact way. So we're just going to put the wire in around the base. And we're going to fold our mechanics back. Perfect rosette, and it still resembles a flower. You can go in and just kind of tuck those in wherever you have space at. All right, so if we turn this around on this side right here, you can see our mechanics from the other side. So then you just go in and you clip. Now this is going to disturb a few things. So if you have plants that toss out, don't be alarmed. Just put them right back in. At this point, the arrangement is completely done. It has a peel 360 all the way around the container. So no matter where you set it at, if you set it in the middle of the table, up against the wall, it's going to make people want to see what all is going on. So I'll come in and I'll clean up anything that does not look attractive to the eye. Takes but a second. When I water this in, I like to leave a space when I'm doing my succulent arrangements where I can go in and I water. And so what I like to do is I come in, don't need much, but I do like to give an initial water when I do these arrangements. One is going to help pack in the soil. Two, because these roots have just went through quite a fight, so it's going to give them a little bit of rehydration, if you will. So now let's clean all of this up, and then I'll give you a 360 look at what this container looks like.